We talk quite a lot about the sort of big company, small company thing,
Yeah.
what we've got in common, but also what makes us different. Do you think you could be as entrepreneurial in a big company?
Well, I've never worked in a big company, but from what I've seen, ones like Datacom, it seems to be there are a few opportunities. But I think for me personally, I like having the control of being out on my own. I'm not really afraid of taking the risks around that, so I find it kind of more compelling to build something that's mine.
It looks like you're still exploring what out of what you do appeals to customers and what new opportunities you've got to turn that into revenue streams.
Yeah.
How are you going about identifying and addressing future customers?
Yeah, so at the moment we're very US targeted, and it's a big thing identifying the right customers. We're so small, we have to be very focused and targeted. But for future opportunities, it's really we just talk to them. So we try and keep this open line of communication to really learn more about where their businesses are heading and trends across the industry, to really help us merge our product offering, which may be completely different in 12 months' time, to make sure we're still solving their problems. So it's really just talking to them.
One of the features of startups is quite frequently what you end up making money out of is not where you initially started. How many times have you had to pivot or alter your offering as a consequence of what you've learned during the years?
As we do, we have been pivoting and changing as we learn. A big thing is always starting with the customer, and if you really make sure you're always trying to solve a problem they have instead of building a bit of technology, then tapping onto the market and taking it to market. So we always try and look at our customers first and go, what is the problem, and then work back and use what technology we can to solve that problem, and that's helped us a lot. So there's been a lot of noise recently overseas about companies letting staff work from home. I'm interested to hear your take on that.
Yeah, sure. I think the studies show that there's still immense value to be had in coming into the workplace. The social interaction, being part of a wider culture, those things actually matter to people. But we're also a flexible organisation, and there are activities, particularly in open plan working spaces, where quiet time or more focused time might be advantaged by being at home. So we try and offer those trade-offs, but know that with the team-based work we do, even with the modern communication tools that allow you to work from multiple locations, being together enough for the team to function well together is incredibly important.
So one thing that's always interesting is, where do you see the next sort of 3 to 5 years? What are the regions and markets that excite you for Datacom?
If I was going to give you a really easy answer, that would be all of them. We've got a couple of focuses. We've got the core of our business that we obviously want to keep growing incrementally, but we also want to diversify it. It makes the company more resilient when we diversify, and I think one of the key things we're doing at the moment is we're bringing together the properties we have that have intellectual property in them that are distinct from our services businesses, and placing much greater emphasis on where we can take products to market. In geographic terms, because I think that was also part of your question, we're very Asia Pacific centric at the moment, so Asia and New Zealand, Australia. But we never would have guessed we would be as big offshore now as we are now in 2000. And so I'm not going to put anything out of the question.
Big thing in the local news at the moment is how the tech stocks on the NZX exchange are performing. Do you think we'll see a Datacom listing anytime soon?
I get asked that so frequently. I'd love to be able to just give a definitive no so people stopped asking. But no's an incredibly long time. What I can say is our 100% New Zealand ownership, long-term private ownership, has been really, really good in encouraging us to invest for the very long term and to make the right decisions. And I'm not sure that a share market listing gives you that same ability to really genuinely act for the long term. So I think the way the shareholdings work at the moment has enabled our growth in ways that we might not have been able to otherwise, and it's been incredibly good for the company.